Right, hello there. I'm Tiny Pirate, and we are going to stream. I'm even going to see if I can find the live version of this video so I can share it. Yeah, of course it's not on. I can't find it. And my players are not allowed to look for it. I have two players here. They should introduce themselves. We'll just call them... I've actually found the link. Good. We'll call them by the player name. So, where are we? Dash, could you just introduce yourself before we crack into the content?
I'm Dash, and I'm an ex-Imperial Scout Trooper.
Awesome. And what anything you want to share about your character? Are they what about them?
What's happened so far, sort of thing, or
maybe just a little overview, because this is going to be like a dream sequence. We're going to run a combat, and the combat will just be it's obviously nothing to do with the main campaign, just an example. So maybe people are interested in how your character responds or does things.
Yeah, so I guess Dash maybe has a touch of PTSD from when he was Imperial, and so he's cautious, but he's very methodical about how he goes about combat. So he always tries to get in the best position, or think 3 steps ahead of the opposition or enemy.
Cool.
Nice. Opposite of me.
Yeah. And you should introduce your character, Grillo.
Yeah, so I'm Grillo. I'm a Rhodian hired gun. I'm quite a violent character. He's quite good at his battle, but isn't so good at negotiating things. He's very much money driven, but cares a lot about the team. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. I'm just finding one more place to post this. So I'll just briefly talk about this Foundry setup. So we might get actual people watching if I put this in the right place in this channel. Who knows? Cool. I've probably just peed off the entire of the Star Wars RPG Discord because they seem to be a bit grumpy at times. They just tear a funny bunch. No, that's all good. So this is Foundry. For those who don't know, it is a virtual tabletop, and in Foundry, you can set it up really effectively to do a lot of really cool stuff for you. This is our start screen. I think we'll just leave the Destiny dice as they are. I'll move them over here because they might be blocked otherwise. No, they're not too bad. There's fine. I can see my face. And what I thought would be interesting is, I know I've had a few people who have watched the long ramble I did last time, and they were interested in, someone was interested in the combat and how we ran things here. So what I thought we'd do is go through an example, and as we go through it, I'll talk about any mods and what have you. So I will almost certainly, I think I'll just set you up in a kind of market situation, and we can just pretend that we'll set it up that you guys are perhaps looking for like a contact to fence you some gear. And what else shall we say about it? That's nice. I think it's nice to have a little prelude before we crack in.
Do we want to do like a force point roll before we start?
Oh, why not? Because maybe we should do that just for the. Where is my? There we go. Maybe we should do that just for. Hang on a sec. Where is all those dice coming from? Oh, did I accidentally?
You put a whole lot of Destiny rolls. I'm
just going to delete all of them and reset the
better.
Destiny dice. So if anyone is watching, this is all part of the Star Wars system. And as you can see here, you click on this. And nice thing is, it's not really explained anywhere. I actually made a table for everyone's obligation. It took ages, but in the end, the game system gives it to you, and you just have to hit a button. So I'm going to hit a button now. We'll pretend we've rolled obligation, and... Oh, obligation sister. Oh, that's one of Dash's little obligations is triggered, but we won't worry about that today. And I did it again because I'm an idiot. Forget it. Just delete that chat. What we will do is call for that's what I'm trying to click, the Destiny pool roll.
Cool. Click it now.
Yeah.
It says I've already rolled.
Oh, You know what? I am going to just pretend that you rolled a 2 Destiny and 1 like that. There you go. Brilliant.
Sure.
There was briefly 2 people watching, and it better not be you guys. So
I'm
there's
not
now,
watching.
There's now only
No,
one.
I wouldn't even know where to
I'm
go
sure
to
it'll
find
go
it.
down.
No, neither.
All right. Yeah, okay. So I will activate the town market. So the situation is, and does it have sound? It does have sound. I thought it did. The situation is, Dash and Grelo are out looking for someone to fence some wampa hides to. Long story. That's why Dash in our actual game only has 1 arm due to a very angry wampa. Although he's growing another one, it's fine. So you guys are at a market. The contact is probably somewhere in the vicinity.
I mean, this Wampa would have helped earlier, but yeah, Dash. Do you have any idea where we might be able to find some Wampa hides?
Well, we could probably contact the dealer. He might know someone, but
Yeah,
don't
do you know
know.
where to find them?
well, he's not the sort of guy you find. He's the sort of guy that you leave a message for and he finds you.
Okay. Do you? I've never dealt with this guy before. Do you know where we should be leaving a message?
Well, I can send him a message, but I don't know if Wampa hides are up his alley. We might be better off just going to like the rugs and throws section of the market.
Yeah, let's give that a go first.
All right.
Seems a little low effort.
Yeah, we are kind of making this up as we go along compared to our 17 episode live actual play. So you wander through the market, hauling wampa hides, and over I guess your shoulders, or in I don't know, what would you do? Maybe a small trolley of wampa hides, hauled probably by Grelo because he's small and tough. He's our
The
Rhodian.
Wampa Hide King.
Yeah,
What we should do while we're here is see if we can buy like one of those floaty crates that you can like.
Ah,
put stuff
yeah.
in.
Yeah, good plan. You haul it through, and pretty soon someone in the market catches your, or obviously is looking for you and catches your eye, and sort of waves you over.
I'll grab Grelo by the shoulder and be like, "Hey, over here," and lead him towards the person that's waving at us.
All right. Now, what I want you both to do is to give me a check, and it will need to be a vigilance check. Just make it against 2 difficulty. I just want to see if you... and I want to give you a black dice because it is a very busy market and it's pretty hard to see what's going on around here unless you have something to beat that.
2 difficulty?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what are we looking at here?
Grease good at that.
Failed
black.
successes. Okay. Grelo, you should re-roll that with a black dice.
Okay.
Can't get away from things that easy. Now, while you do that, just hold the dice. I have a thing called Pool Party. It is both a party extension and a macro. Sorry, it's like it's a mod and a macro. You can go look it up. And when I have it clicked, I can see at any one time what dice is up. Oh, you've succeeded.
We got a
Brilliant.
threat though.
Yeah, out of the corner of your eye, you see 3 stormtroopers come around the corner, and you guys have been on the run from the from the Imperials for quite a while, and they probably are looking for you. As you look out up at them, and this is where I'm going to use the threat. One of them looks at you and points.
I pull out my weapon and immediately aim it at them and gesture to dash.
All right.
Same.
So we go into combat. Bum, bum, bum. So this is where I, for those who are watching, I go and grab. I've got a range bands document, and oops, I need to drag it in as a tile, and I'm pretty sure I've got a drag drop mod. And then I just resize my range bands, and I'm just going to drop the noise a little, the background noise a little noisy. So then I've got this range bands image, and I basically made it in like Google Sheets or something, right? Oh, sorry, Google Slides. And it's a very simple reminder of what things are like because we run combat pretty theater of the mind, don't we usually?
Yes.
And what I would do is I drag the two characters in. So we've got Max and Grillo. They are essentially at short range. Dash and Grillo. Dash, I'm just going to give you all your wounds back. So just remember
we're assuming I have my arm as well at this stage.
We're assuming you are replete in arms. You have the normal complement of arms for a human. And Grillo's just fine. He's just rocking along. I haven't given you any of your fancy modded weapons.
Yes.
Hello, Blue Nova and Sulphur City. So we're gonna.
Should my soak be at 0?
I think it's at full. No, your soak. I haven't given you any. Oh no, it shouldn't. No, should it?
He bought some armor, right? So he should have some soak for some armor, and then you get your born for your soak as well. Is that right? Or is that
that's already there.
That's right. Yeah.
Did we decide it was armored? No. What did you have for gear? Was it armored?
I don't think you had any armor initially, and then we were sort of discussing it at the end of our last session, which was a shopping session, right?
Yeah, we're gonna buy armored clothing or whatever it was.
Yeah, armored clothing. I'll give you armored clothing and a soak and a defense. That's pretty doomy, actually. I think you all upgraded yourselves at the last session, so we'll pretend that you've got that.
I haven't yet, but that's fine. It doesn't matter for this.
And from memory, a defense gives the bad guys, because you guys have never rolled with any defense really. It gives them a black dice and soak with 3, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah. So, and this is where for the people watching.
Sorry, stormtroopers.
I have a whole bunch of prepared bad guys, Imperial stormtroopers, and we're going to have them at long range. And I'm going to give them. I'm going to make it a bit hard for you guys. Actually, no, I'll leave. Oops, no, we'll control Z that. I'll leave them off for now. So 3 Imperial Stormtroopers. What I'm running here is a mod called Genesis Minion Counter. And it puts this weird icon here, and it lines up with how many Stormtroopers are currently in the game. You guys are so freaking doomy these days. Because it's been 16 sessions, we definitely need to make it a little bit more interesting. So at long range, we've got 3 Imperial Stormtroopers. Sort of, you're looking down the market, but I'll describe the scene once we get going. What else is there to say about them? I've set up all the equipment myself. I kind of did it by hand, to be perfectly honest, and found pictures. But we're not really a big gearhead kind of group, I don't think. So it's not really been a thing that we've messed around with. Maybe I should just let one of them use light repeating blasters. That might be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, that could be fun. So we can do that. So what we do now is we start combat. So in Foundry, we just select everyone. I right click. I hit the little combat icon, and now the fist at the top right says we're in combat. I'm going to decide that everybody can roll vigilance, which roll for all. It will be vigilance. No one has any particular advantages, do they? I think not. So we'll just roll. Whammo.
You want a vigilance roll?
No, I just did it for you automatically.
Okay.
So what we've got is, one of those NPC groups is absolutely phenomenal. Got 3 successes, so they're going to be giving you some trouble. So what I can, I guess, cut back to is the scene is that as you guys haggle, you look down through the marketplace. It's crowded, it's busy, but you catch the eye of 3 stormtroopers in the distance. One of them points and sort of unslings their weapon, and another one you can see is on a comlink, and another one kind of dashes forward a little bit behind a pillar. They get to act first. So what they're going to do is, I think they are going to advance while calling out halt, and then they're going to fire. So so they're going to advance and halt. I call out. What are you guys? They're calling out for you guys to halt. As a kind of incidental, what are you guys going to do? Are you going to halt and surrender, or are you going to shoot back? This is still their turn, but I just want to
shoot back.
You're okay. You're
shoot back.
preparing to be aggressive. Yeah.
I'm gonna duck behind like a market stall or something so they can't shoot me. Like jump out of the way.
I'll hold the fort.
Well, I'm going to kind of let them essentially go first, but I wanted to see you to essentially not have them just immediately open fire unless it was obvious you guys are hostile. But you guys are obviously hostile, so they're gonna start shooting. So they're sort of advancing aggressively towards you, and they're gonna shoot. Who are they gonna shoot first? They're gonna shoot Grillo, who's obviously way more hostile. So on the mod here, I think I've got some targeting mods. So for those watching,
except for me, it says I'm targeting Grillo, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
You might have to alt click him or alt. Yeah, I'm not sure. It can be a bit weird. So you want to alt click on the stormtroopers.
Yeah,
so I've got the stormtroopers have, and I've also got this little mod on, which is telling me who is targeted. So I know, for example, that Dash right now is targeted on the stormtroopers, and so is Grillo. And for the life of me, Smart Target maybe, I can't remember which one it is, but it's pretty cool, I guess. So they're targeting, the Imperial Stormtroopers are targeting Grillo. They have several weapons. They're just going to go with the blaster rifle to start with. And so how we set this up is we have a black setback dice for your defense, don't we? For starters. And I'm going to let them flip a dark side point so they can upgrade their ability. They're moved, so they don't have any spare maneuver points or actions like to aim. I'm just talking you run through this. Normally, obviously, when we do this live, we do this for real. We are a bit more fluid. And I am going to give them another setback for a difficult market, for the busy marketplace, and I'm going to upgrade the difficulty because shooting through this crowd at you guys is going to be pretty tough. So that's a pretty tough roll for them to pull off at this range. They'll have to get closer. Bam, bam, bam. So that's FFG enhancement mods kicking in. Failures with 3 advantages. Okay, cool. So they completely miss. But in doing so, they have kind of given themselves, as they've moved, they have managed to get themselves into good defensive positions, which means that actually that's kind of the wrong icon. I'll give it that icon, say. So they are now kind of, all 3 of them are in cover behind pillars, blazing away at you. People are diving left and right to try and get out of it. The screams in the marketplace, bolts whizzing around, smacking into pillars, barely missing other people because the Imperials just do not care about being kind. All right, that's their turn. First player, who's doing the first action?
Well, I feel like Gree can go first, and he's the one that whipped his blaster out ready to shoot them.
Yeah, I'm basically gonna drop a knee and aim my blaster rifle straight at them.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot.
Yeah, so dropping a knee, I think we can call an incidental. So you could take 2 maneuvers and aim twice if you wanted to. What's the plan? Are you going to try and get in cover with a maneuver, or are you just like screw it?
I'm just gonna screw it.
Okay.
I'm confident.
All right, so now this is when I click on pool party for anyone watching, and I look at his pool. That he's got a pretty sweet. I'll look at his character sheet just for anyone interested. So he's been playing for a while. His ranged heavy is pretty great. You will need to upgrade the difficulty on this because of the market's busyness, and you'll have to give a black dice for the busyness, and you're able to apply 2 blue dice as long as you take that strain.
Yep. Oh, you can see my dice?
I certainly can. I'll just close pool party and open it again so it gives me the full view. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Take this. I'll put the strain on you. Wham.
Oh.
And
roll.
Rolling time. 2 successes, 2 advantages. That's not that great.
What? It feels good.
To be fair, that's not too bad. Describe, you know what you would spend your 2 advantages on. You guys are pretty fluid, so give me your description. What happens?
So in my my advantages, the cover that they're, because they're behind cover, right?
And you'll almost certainly drop one.
Yeah, so I dropped one, but the cover that they're behind is now gone. Essentially, my blaster fire kind of made it not useful, and now they're having to find better cover.
Oh, that sounds great. I've taken away their cover. I would say I forgot to actually give them a black dice to support them on the cover, but never mind. It's my bad. There would be a whole... so now I have the supply damage mod. I think I got it off the Star Wars system wiki page, and I can say apply 11 damage. I could pierce if I wanted to, ignore soak, or I do it as strain, but I'm just going to do it like that. And what it tells me now is there's 2 of them. So you ping one of them.
You're up, Dash.
Yeah. You ping one of them, he falls backwards. You've shredded the kind of pillars around the other 2. They're pretty exposed. Dash, what do you do?
So Dash very much does the opposite. He probably dives behind a market stall and then apologises to the person running the market stall. Then he probably pulls out his rifle and makes sure it's all in working order, and then peeks over the top and will shoot. But if I use a strain, I'd probably take a strain if I want to line up a reasonably good shot.
Yeah.
As well, so
you can do that.
I need to upgrade the difficulty, right? Because the market, but I can give myself blue.
Yeah. I'm going to make, you can give yourself a blue, after giving you a strain. And a black dice for just the crowds running around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that right?
That'll do. I think that's pretty fair. Check failed. 2 advantages. It's very typical. Describe what happens.
Look, I guess I just spray around them and they get a little bit scared, and they present themselves as more of a target for Gree to shoot next time.
All right. I will give Gree that little boost die icon. Brilliant. You've kept their heads down. You could hear one of them sort of calling over the radio to another group. And that's when, in the distance at the back of the market, you see 3 more stormtroopers enter the area. Rather than approach like their buddies, one of them seems to be setting up a light repeating blaster and plops it on top of a market, terrifying the person at the stall who dives back into their shop. And they open up on the closest thing they can see, which is Grilo. So light repeating blaster, we're upgrading the difficulty. It's actually 3 purple, so that's fine. The market is, people are screaming and running everywhere. I think that is about right. Now, it's been a while since I looked at the way light repeating blasters work. Check failed. Oh, well, don't have to worry how that works. Automatic blaster fire shrieks all around you. People at this point, the marketplace is rapidly emptying as people run into the shops or dive to the ground. Rounds ping off the pavement and off the buildings around you. Meanwhile, the person, one of the stormtroopers behind the stormtrooper on the light repeating blaster, is waving his hands and encouraging the others to move in on you. And now it is your turn, NPC. Okay, cool. The stormtroopers take this advice to heart and charge forward. The 2 remaining stormtroopers. You've pissed them off a lot now, dropping one of their buddies, and they target Grilo again, who's just sitting in the open. This is only a 1 purple difficulty, being short range. Upgrade the difficulty, and I'm gonna give them a black dice for your armor and a black dice for. Still, the market is busy. There's people everywhere, and I think that's fair. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
I am invincible.
I'm gonna yes, well, stormtroopers.
I bend things around me.
They approach in an aggressive tactical manner, keeping themselves and moving themselves into fresh cover. They've you haven't exactly kept your head down, but they've got themselves into better positioning after the last cover was shredded. What's kind of interesting actually is the Genesis minion counter for those watching at home isn't updating. There's only 2 minions, but this is stuck on 3, and I don't know why that is. It's not working since an update, but that's just how life goes. So that's the first set of them. What are you all doing now?
You can go, Greg, mate. You're the one taking all the... Well, they're not even hitting you at the moment, but...
Yeah, I'm angry that they're still advancing, so I'm not going to change my position, and I'm still going to fire at the closest group in front of me.
Fair enough. So that's going to be your dice pool.
With my blaster rifle.
Yeah. Any aiming you do, it's going to be 1 red dice basically, and black dice for the busy market. There's still people diving out of the way, trying to pull shops back together, and yeah. Let's have a look.
Chuck a blue in.
Yep.
Yeah, I gave you a blue before.
Oh, you get another blue, so you could aim, and you could aim as well twice if you felt like it.
Yeah.
Blues, yeah.
All right,
I'm
give yourself.
Do that.
It's like all the blues.
Let's try it.
Pop
See
out.
those little minions.
Oh gosh! All right, wow. Okay.
I'm a 1-person army.
So you can the triumph. Do you want to use it to drop someone?
Yes.
All right. The damage is also enough to drop someone. So describe what happens.
So they're all dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I managed to... I fire a couple of shots, I guess, and first one goes clean through one of them and grazes the one behind him. And in the confusion, I manage to shoot him again, and he falls completely down.
Brilliant. Actually, that's one of them. Bam. Okay, so these stormtroopers are smoking husks on the ground, I guess you could say. The other stormtroopers haven't moved, still trying to lace you up with blaster fire. Pop. Those guys are gone. Now it's Dash's turn. What do you do, Dash? Realize just gun down these people in the middle of the market.
Well,
I was not expecting this.
I'm really gonna zero in on the stormtrooper with the light repeating blaster.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do aim, and then I'll aim again and take a strain, and then I'll try and shoot him.
All right, that's fair. He is in cover. I should actually remark that. So they need a black dice as well. So it's going to be 3 purple, 2 purple, 1 red, a black dice, and your 2 blues, and another black dice for their defense. And does that make sense? 1 for the busyness of the market.
Am I right there?
Nope, another black dice because the market's
Another black
busy.
dice?
I love dice pools in this game.
I might use a light side point to upgrade it.
Nice one.
That's all right.
Yeah, of course. Just
we'll
feeling at one with murdering stormtroopers.
Well, it's a very even roll until I upgrade that. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I did target him. That's my bad.
That's okay. The targeting, like the called shot on an actual part or person, is one thing. I think in this case. We can. Oh, you didn't use the.
I didn't use the thing at the top.
Didn't use the combat thing.
No,
oh my god, it's
that's
such
my
a pain.
Fault. I can do it again if you want me to.
No, I think that's fine. I can see the blaster rifle above, so the stats for that work. Although I don't mind if you do it again if you want to, just for demonstration purposes.
Yeah, we can do it again.
So yeah, I can do that as GM as well. I can click on any of them, and if I have them selected, I can then do the same. So it says at the top who's the active person. So the dice pool, you should be able to see what you had to roll.
Right, are you ready for me to roll again?
Yes, I am.
Ooh,
you got a triumph this time.
Oh, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna encourage you to be a bit different on this one, rather than just for demonstration purposes. So you've got enough to definitely, I think, probably at least kill one of them for sure.
I think I'll use the triumph to explode the repeater.
You've hit it in the ammo, you reckon?
Yeah, and it will just blow up.
All right, so let me apply some damage to them. Apply apply damage. And we'll see. I'm pretty sure that will immediately drop one of them. So you take a really long, careful aim shot and smack a round straight into the ammo box of the repeater rifle, lacing up the stormtrooper behind it as well with a couple more shots. The explosion of the energy box clean out takes out the person who was like issuing orders next to the. I'm trying to fiddle with two things at once. Takes out the stormtrooper that was issuing orders next to the blaster rifle guy as well. And it's not letting me edit that. That's fine. I will take it up to 11. Okay, so there's only one stormtrooper left at that end of the room now, essentially, or that end of the market. He's still pretty keen to fire at you guys, but yeah, and that's what he's going to do this turn. He's definitely not advancing, but he's going to try and hit Dash, who just who finished off his guys. But he's going to throw a frag grenade, because I haven't done this ever before. And he's doesn't care about the market anymore. I think frag grenades are probably... Actually, we're going to just have him advance. I'm pretty sure they're a medium range weapon. So he sneaks up and lobs a frag grenade your guys' way.
I guess at least it's not a thermal detonator like last time.
Yeah, and it is 2 dice, upgrade difficulty. It's a busy market. And he's going to spend a dark side point. And we'll see what happens. Oh wow, that was a cool animation I've never seen before.
That was a cool animation.
Alright, he hits you guys.
No, he's now
cool.
me.
How does it work? I don't know. He didn't roll any advantages, so he can't... someone should find out how this flag grenade thing works.
So does that just do 9 and then I take 3 off for my soak?
I get to apply that damage and it will know how to do that automatically.
Oh,
yeah, I think it hits you and... Blast quality 6. Like, this is a thing I should know. Frag grenade. It's a quality thing. Star Wars FFG.
Maybe the blast quality just takes off the soak.
For short range.
Yeah, damage 8, crit 4, short range. I will just pretend he's a really strong guy. He's throwing it really well. It's the blast quality. I think I need
you can
blast.
click on it and it tells you what it says.
Of course. Cool. Did I do this? I must have done this. Maybe I did. If the blast quality, as a large spread, it can't be activated because he didn't get any advantages. Doesn't activate. Means
you can say that the aerial blows up though.
The aerial?
The area, sorry.
The area. Well, I mean, I think he's aimed at you and he's hit you, so he's blasted you. But because I couldn't activate the blast with an advantage, I can't apply also 6 damage to Grelo.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
it's kind of that kind of thing. So a lot of qualities. So if anything says quality, it has to be activated. So we are going to apply that 9 damage, and it will take your soak will pick up most of it. So you can describe what happens. You reckon?
I imagine it's one of those situations where you're like sitting there, and then the grenade lands next to you, and then I just jump over the other side of the stall, and then the stall gets blown up, and I get some shrapnel in the face.
Yep, that'd be about right. So you have actually, you've taken 6 wounds. That's pretty reasonable.
Not your eyes again.
Yeah, that's right.
So one of you, not your eyes again. One of you gets. I think we're clearing that status off Grelo. One of you gets to react. Your cover is completely shredded, so you're out of cover. But I think one of you now gets to act. He's throwing his grenade. Who is it?
You can go green. I'm probably disorientated from the
it's
grenade.
me.
Right?
Yeah, I'm even more infuriated now that they've done damage to Dash, and I continue my stance just because it's going so well.
All right, it's going to be
blast
2.
rifle again.
Yeah, and I'll take away the no black dice this time, just because the market has by now cleared. So
Okie dokie.
He's in cover. I think we're going to say, and so you need a black dice for his cover.
Yep. And I'll use a strain. Aim.
Oh well, that's not going to be a strain. You get a free maneuver, right? So you haven't taken any.
Actually, I'll use another strain. Use another blue.
All right, I'll do that one for you. All right, that sounds good.
Cool.
All right, 1 success, 2 advantages. this will almost certainly finish him off, so you can describe what happens. Yeah.
Yes. So I see them. I look over at Dash and see what's happened to him, and I just scream, firing like just non-stop at them, and I just obliterate their entire squadron.
There's only one left, remember?
Oh, is there? Oh,
You
okay.
obliterate the entire
I obliterate him, and I take out all my anger on that one person. That
Brilliant.
one trooper.
Okay. All right. And I think we will just call it there in terms of, yay, combat over, you guys win, good job. So that's a pretty typical example, I would say, of combat. One of the things I think I really like about the system, and you guys can talk about what you do or don't like, one of the things I really like is because the system relies on players describing stuff and trying to interpret the dice, kind of tarot card like, every player gets to kind of inject their character's personality into things. So we have another character who plays with us. The character is Max, and if he hits on criticals, and he tends to describe quite bumbling things, doesn't he? Quite accidental things, because Max is not... He's actually a pretty good shot these days, but he's not really a combat character. So all of his descriptions tend to be a lot more kind of accidentally awesome, whereas you got Grelo tends to be the stone cold killer, and Dash does combat more tactically. And I like it because the GM I don't have to do all that description. I don't have to try and insert my opinions. Yeah, what do you guys think?
No, yeah, I like that aspect of it as well. Like, it's taken me a while, I think, to get into the storytelling side of it, but I think I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
Like, is that your opinion of it?
Yeah, I think
so. I do enjoy being able to have my own opinion on my character and exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
When he's attacking things or getting around obstacles, I can make it kind of how I would want to do it. And yeah.
I think Grelo's had two very famous combat scenes. There was on the rooftop in that little desert village. You can describe what happened. I mean, you basically rolled a triumph, and you can describe what you did.
Oh, was it? Yeah, that there was a dude on the roof. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So we're being attacked, and I can't remember the exact scenario, but we're being attacked, and there's a dude up on the roof. So I scrabbled my way up to there and did. Basically, I think was a flying kick.
Yeah, he just booted him clean off the roof.
And just yeeted him completely off the roof. It was just a really successful kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the nice things. I think normally Grelo is he's a shooty guy, but because it's a triumph, you get to change the scene, and that's how you wanted to do it. Like, he catches a guy by surprise and just boots him off the roof. Fair call. Grelo's pretty tough. So he's not the strongest, but he's pretty wily and he has lots of combat experience. The other time I thought it was very funny was when you had that kind of arena and you were like set up for this kind of gun, this what was it, like a Western style standoff, right?
Quick draw.
Yeah,
quick draw. And what did you do? Can you remember?
I think I blew him straight through the eye.
Yeah, and that was a very Grelo, just like rolled a triumph and just smoked the dude in one roll. Just badoosh, he's down.
Yeah, it was. I think it was meant to be something that lasted a bit longer than it wasn't it, but I kind of ended it just through an amazing roll. Yeah.
Whereas Dash, on the other hand, like I think you had an arena, and I think you rolled it. Did you roll a triumph to deal with the
cat? Yeah, the Nixu.
The Nixu, but you did it. Your triumph you used in a very Dash kind of way, which was fun. So what did you do for that, if you can remember?
Yeah, I think like I was supposed to fight this thing, and having a bit of like survival sort of training, I sort of used the triumph to more befriend the cat.
Yeah.
And or the Nixu, I should say. And it made everything sort of it was sort of more intimidated of me, and it sort of was very timid, and then the crowd got bored and I sort of got let out, right?
Yeah, you pacified it because your character has this sort of long background. He was a scout trooper. You spent a bunch of time on various planets, or at least as a scout you did. So you have some stealth, some stalking, tracking, xenology, that kind of experience. So we decided it was fair that you could briefly tame this Nixu.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
character relies on everyone else knowing things, and I just enforce it.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of smarts.
He's very black and white, isn't he?
I think one of my
Yeah.
favourite things, and I can probably say this because it's happened to me and only me so far, is the critical system is really like it's really cool how it affects your character when you like it's great when you roll and do a critical on an enemy and they just die straight away, or like one of them dies straight away. But when it happens to you, there's so many different outcomes of what can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missing limbs.
Yeah, and I find the system quite funny because in many ways it's very abstract, but then there are a few things like crits, which are just like old school, Middle Earth role-playing Rollmaster type, because I used to play a lot of MERP. A lot of, very old school kind of a table, and you roll on the table and see how doomed you are. But to me, that's one of the quite fun things with the system is that some things there's enough room to tell a story, but within confines, and not so much room that you just make it up, if that makes sense. Like you kind of need to work towards what the dice have said, but in your own way, which is fun. Whereas, and at the same time, if things do go wrong, the game is very firm. Like things have gone wrong, and you're just going to have to deal with it. You're not going to be able to just story your way out of it. So that's why Dash is currently not head of the clapping squad in the team because he lost an arm. It's very, very tragic.
And an eye.
An arm and his eye. So now he's got them fixed. He's getting better. It's not. I think we actually have. Have I removed those from your character sheet? I think I have.
Yeah, I think
actually.
you have. You've taken the criticals out now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I definitely don't have all the negatives on my dice pools. So.
yeah. So the that was good because otherwise it was going to be it was going to be bad for you, I guess, long term. But he hasn't got any fancy cybernetic arm, just a replacement, just a prosthetic.
No, but I mean, in the end of the day, all that did was start telling a new story and a good story. I feel that's what the outcome of those criticals were. It was like, oh, so this has happened, so now what's going to happen? And sort of, you can't tell your way out of the story, but you can use it in the story you're telling. So I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really fun things, the system. The only things that can be challenging, as one of our players points out, is when you fail but with 7 advantages, which we have had happen. And you're just like, or you fail with a triumph and a despair. We've had that. And we're like, oh my God, what does that mean? But we sort of think about, okay, so what is the triumph? I think my favorite one was when you guys were trying to dock with a ship and it kind of ended up with the nine of the robot kind of hanging on in the airlock while the ship and the airlock got just kind of damaged heavily, and he's trying to hold on to the ships as things were starting to spin out of control. And it was the triumph helped you achieve the scene. The damage, even though not entirely because it was a failed roll, but it gave you something. But the despair ruined a part of your ship for a while and stuff like that. I think that it kind of challenges your creativity a bit, which is fun. So.
Yeah, I like the challenges and despairs because without any pre-warning, it can drastically change a scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's fun. Like I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think other systems, you either obviously D&D is pass-fail, pretty typically, and it always feels to me when I've run games like that it's a lot on the GM to tell the story. And I guess there are some GMs who probably buck against that and they make the players do stuff, which is great. But this one, things can get weird, which is really amusing, I reckon. So yeah.
And thankfully all the storytelling is not down to you, so when those difficult ones come up, you can push them onto us if it's our role.
It's kind of fun when a weird roll comes up and everyone just laughs and then all start suggesting horrible things to happen to the person who rolled it. So stuff like that is a bit of a hoot.
Yeah.
Can't think of any particularly good ones right now, but sometimes you guys come up with better, like more horrible ones than I would come up with for each other, which is great. So
that's good to know. Keep it interesting.
Well, I mean, the triumph and advantages, despairs should be scene changing. So I always try and remember that. It should lead to something really significantly good or significantly bad.
Because that was how he lost his arm and eye, wasn't it?
It was criticals, actually.
Criticals.
The
they weren't despairs,
It was just plain out. Actually, no, it must have been.
But a despair could be used like that, couldn't it?
Oh no,
it could, but it wasn't because I think it had vicious.
Yeah.
had like that
Yeah.
vicious ability, and like
Yeah.
rule
So
number one is don't fight a Wampa in hand-to-hand combat. That's never going to end well.
yeah, I
Well, there's
ran
a
the
Wampa there
Wampas
now.
slightly different from rulebook. So the rulebook has them as minions, which just feels a bit lame. So I kind of ran them with their minion stats, with these normal stats that they have, but I allowed them to take, rather than critical take them out, I made you guys roll criticals against them. Normally, because you guys a couple of times could have easily rolled a crit or spent your advantage on a crit and it would have killed it straight away, which I'm always like, it's a Wampa, like it's going to take a beating. But its weapons, its claws do pierce 3, so they get through a bunch of soak, and vicious 2. I'm just going to roll what that claw attack is, because I'm pretty sure... let's just roll it and see what the data about it is. That would be bad for you. So yeah, it's criticals. It crits on 3, and I think it rolled enough advantages, or it rolled triumphs, and it just mutilated you because it also has the vicious 2. So it has, from memory, an extra... Oh, I don't have the vicious quality available. I'm sure I do.
It's on the thing. If you click on the claws, it should come up.
Yeah, it
right?
didn't pop up that time.
It says it's been removed.
Yeah, so it's weird the way it does that. So anyway, some things are broken. That's just the nature of using these amateur built systems. So yeah, it's a crit roll at plus 20 by default, and then of course you had a crit on you. So then the next roll was plus 30. So the first roll took out your eyes, I think, blinded you. Was that right?
Yep.
And then the next roll, the Wampa pulled your arm off. So you're very picked upon as poor old Dash. Oh well, he'll survive. I'm just
Honestly thought you were gonna die.
It was. I mean, you could have really easily died. So like, if I roll the critical injury table, and I haven't got the macro working, so I'm just going to do it manually, and I roll it at plus 30. Like 38. Okay, fine. Not often, but it's not hard to get up into some like horrendous injuries.
Well, the table caps out at 150, right? So
yeah. There we go. That's what we rolled last time. Oh no, it wasn't crippled. That was crippled. No, we had a whole no arm anymore, no limb. Yeah. And they're pretty nasty at this level. So anyone in chat, there's like 3 actual people watching. If you have any questions, chuck them in real quick. Otherwise, we could probably call it. But have you guys found Foundry?
Good.
I really like it. Coming from Roll20, I think, so much more. Well, I don't know whether. Well, I'm assuming it's because you're also a better DM and you're more prepared than some of the people I've played in Roll20. But like the text crawl, I don't know if Roll20 can do that. That was really cool in the very first session. And then some of the hyperspace jumps you set up and like stuff like that is like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that is, I'm going to push the opening crawl button, and then just after the music stops, I'm going to hit F5 to reload, because otherwise I'm afraid of like being in trouble with the copyright police. Is it actually even going to load? Maybe it's broken. Doesn't seem to be loading.
No, it's going for me.
It's going for you. So imagine, if you will, Star Wars, like it does the whole Star Wars text thing, and it didn't work for me. So that's the FFG mod, FFG enhancements, and somewhere in my journals is the opening crawl text, and so you guys can read that if you like. And then the nice thing is it does the whole Star Wars text thing with the music background, which I had to set that up in a folder somewhere. It's explained in the mod.
I think it's the music that's the copyright thing, right?
That would be bad, And I had to insert like 90 seconds of hey, Solf, you playing person? That's cool. We've done that once as well. But I'm real night owl, and it's hard for me to get away from family, so it's quite nice to be able to play online at night.
Yeah, I agree. I also like the fact that, because I have played this in person like a couple of other games, and it takes you ages to calculate out the dice when you have these massive dice pools. Whereas on here, it's just like, here's the results. You tell me what's going to happen.
Yeah. We had to remember which way around advantages and successes,
That's
and
right,
failures are, and threats, and yeah. So I should use the I will use this episode 0. I'll use this text scroll again sometime. Oh, and the nice thing is right at the end of the text, when all of this is scrolled past, the camera kind of does the pan down, and it pans down to whatever image you've plopped into the journal, which I thought was really cute. So normally you could put a planet in, right? Which is fun. We played in person once, which was cool, and I think we should definitely do that again. But nice thing is we can carry on regardless of COVID because we're all set up.
Yeah.
Which has been fun.
Yeah, that's right. The road is also finished next week, so that's going to make life easier for me.
True.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
How that'll help all of us, won't it? Will it be like even quicker to get up to your place?
Well,
now?
yeah. If you guys come up, it'll probably cut 10 minutes, 15 minutes off the drive. So
Yeah. And so for those watching, Sulphur was like, you'd be keen on jumping in an online game, ... We run with 4 players, and I like to keep it at 4 because that way pretty much we're always all available. As soon as you hit 6 players, someone's not available, and we run quite a story kind of game, and I'd hate for people to miss out. It's more fun, I think, when we're all together. So we've been able to be really consistent on our play, which has been good. And I think one of the advantages of this over things like Roll20 and D&D is there's no expectation to set up dungeons, because I have sort of done that in Foundry for, and I'm just going to I'm going to show off I'm going to briefly flip over to the Call of Cthulhu map, but I've done that for Foundry, and you guys won't be able to join. Hopefully, the screen will go blank. Just bear with me, caller. I'll just proceed. You probably can join, actually. If you get, why not try and rejoin and just choose one of the characters, and the name will be the same. So this is, where are we? This is my Call of Cthulhu setup. And
what are we doing? Picking a name.
No, just pick a name and join if you fancy. Oh,
that's really cool.
Yeah. So I need to choose where's my... God, I can't remember where everything is. So I actually have set up kind of dungeons for this, and it's kind of painfully difficult. Where's a good example? Oh, here we go. Let's go back to the welcome screen. So one of the nice things... go performing world migration. Oh god, I haven't activated this in a while, obviously. Okay, activate. So what you guys can actually do now, you won't realize, is you can click on characters, or you can click on Boston, and it'll allow you to flip through to the characters. So
cool.
Yeah, I fiddled around for ages. So then I have it so that each of the characters, this is a nice thing I did in Foundry. So this is using various token related mods.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. And then the back arrow at the top will take you back.
I mean, yeah, I'd definitely play this.
Sign me up for this. This is cool.
Yeah.
So Monk's Scene Navigation is what gives me the stuff at the top. Token
cool.
Magic, Trigger Happy, what gives me... I think Trigger Happy was what gives you the clickable stuff here. And yeah, so that was really fun. And there's a pop-up for Boston. And I put this logo in at the top right because when I ran this online, the players lied to everyone and told these yokel farmers that they were from the Department of Agriculture. All these Boston mobsters. So it was pretty funny. But if I find the... sorry, it'll be a bit slow for you guys to load in.
I've got a don't own a token, so I won't be able to see whatever you've...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've just got a black card.
Oh, okay. You'll just have to... fair enough. Let me give you put some tokens. Oh, actually, no, you'll just have to wait. So that's not a good one. Let me go over to the Carmoody farm. So you guys should... You'll... I should be able to set you all up with tokens. So I set this up with... like almost dungeon-like. So there's walls. Where are the walls? There is walls somewhere. There's vision. If I change it to nighttime and all of that. Anyway, all of this was just a really long-winded way of saying, there you go. So nighttime with lights. Setting up dungeons is a really painful thing. You weren't asking to jump in sulfur. Yeah, I know how it is. There should be some more running. People in the Star Wars group should definitely do that. Hoping my info inspires someone else. Yeah, I hope so too. It's pretty fun. But yeah, setting up dungeons is so time consuming. I can understand why people are reluctant, or people would be reluctant to do it. I've just realized all of the players are already on the scene. They all had to run away. They ran away really badly. Yeah, they ran away really heavily. And I think I have one other time. Yeah, so there's this place as well, which if I set it to night, you guys don't have tokens, so let me just drag them on.
Oh no, I can see this one.
Okay,
This is cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay, weird. So yeah, this one again had a nighttime lighting and all this stuff going on, and some sound effects and bits and bobs.
I imagine the lighting must take ages to set up.
It's actually not too bad, but this is a really simple. Oh, that's right, because I've got the investigators on the screen. I have this token that the whole party can use, and that was to symbolize some traveling. My favorite way of doing this was, so this was another little scene. This is more of the, actually let me just configure lock view now that lock view is working. Bang. So this is kind of like this is more theater of the mind kind of stuff, which is how I usually like to run things. Turn that little picture on. So these are some of the people they interacted with, and the actual map. Sorry guys, I'm going to flip you over to this map. The map was something really fun because I did set up Fog of War. So these are resources I pretty much found on the internet. So as you can see, there's kind of this Fog of War. So as they explored, they were able to find stuff. And along the way, I put down journal notes so they could learn about locations. And because this scenario, Blackwater Creek for Call of Cthulhu, is quite sandboxy. Is it more complex to learn than Roll20? I don't know. What do you guys think? That's a question someone asked in chat.
There's a lot more setting up in this than there is in Roll20. Like Roll20 is like plug and go, but once you set this up, I reckon it's way easier.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more time setting it up, but once you set it up, a lot easier.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Yeah, I also just think it's prettier. Like, I just like the really clean lines. I've installed a couple of mods to make it slightly prettier because sometimes the text is weirdly aligned. It runs pretty well, I think. It's pretty fast. There's a lot of guides out there for it, but I guess if you're doing Star Wars, there's a lot of asking questions of different people and fiddling around. But because we're running quite theater of the mind, I mostly spend a lot of time just looking for cool pictures and then setting up entities like the NPCs, like creating a lot of bad dudes and making little tiles for them, stuff like that. In this case, weapons, I think I had to make all of these myself, but there are places on the internet where you can get icons and what have you for RPG. I think there's even like RPG-icons.net, something like that. But oh yeah, here we go. So this is one of the closest things I got to a tactical map, and you should recognize this, Grillo. So this is my Wacom cheap tablet, and I can do little drawings like, here's the pit, here's the path. Oh, that's not a drawing. And sometimes I will use this. This was a really cheap one. This is the path down to the lake, and Grillo played this campaign and he remembers exactly what happened at the lake, which was very bad.
I tried to save someone and ended up killing them.
So one of the players was horrifically wounded by an ancient from beyond, as you get in Cthulhu, and he was crawled into a bush. Yeah, he was filled with these he had been hit a couple of times with metal spikes, and he was on like his 0 hit points, and he's like bleeding out basically in a bush. And Grillo, your character, it wasn't Grillo, made this heroic run down this path and dodging quills and diving into bushes, and promptly applies first aid. And then what happened?
I pull out the spike, and he
Well,
immediately died.
yeah, well, you rolled 100 and you go, oh, I rolled
Yeah,
100.
oh, that's
Awesome. Critical. No, it wasn't 100. No, was it 100 or was it? No, you rolled 0, 0.
0.
And like,
Yeah.
oh, I rolled 100.
And I thought
Awesome.
it was
And I'm
it.
like,
No.
no, not in Cthulhu. That's 0, 0. Critical fail. And so promptly murdered his buddy and then had to run all the way back up the hill away from the monster. I got you, buddy. Pull the spike out. Spurt, spurt, spurt.
See, this is why I do better in fighting rolls than healing rolls.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is another. I'll just flip over to this one. So this is another time that I used a resource and we just kind of walked through it. But I actually did do some mapping here. So as you can see, actually, if I click on lighting, clear fog of war, and then come back, so the players started like seeing that they were at this cave mouth, and then as they came up, I in my perennial view had like a separate icon and put, it's kind of not really working very well here, but as you can, if you imagine this player, they could see that they were inside the first part of the cave, and that was kind of duplicated. I think I had 2 icons on each of them, so they could see, okay, so the cave mouth, they get a feel for the surroundings, and then over time, so I think if I click on the walls icon, there's like invisible walls, and they were able to walk into the cave and learn more and more about the horrendous things that happened in this cave before they went mad and ran away and did all the usual player stuff that happens in Call of Cthulhu. So there's the investigator's icon, just a clear fog of war. So that worked. That worked pretty well, I would say. Yeah, lots of other. I'm just going to flip over to this one. Again, I use lock view because I like theatre of the mind and I squish it. So yes, that's any other questions? Otherwise, we can probably call it. But yeah, this is an example where they visit a dig site and I just drag in cool pictures to like terrorize them and to make them think stuff. I'm quite pleased with my Boston stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
So I made all these little
that's really cool.
So here's a map of Boston. Oops, I shouldn't move it. And again, I drop journal entries. So that's the warehouse. They know that's the Angel's Share, which is a little speakeasy that their boss had them working at or helping. And so that's like music with a phonograph kind of sound to it. And then on top of that, I had, where the heck? And the other nice thing was at any time they could go back to that mugshots case file that was available to them, because I had like 6 players and they all would have forgotten who the hell they all were, knowing my players at the time, and they would have got very confused. So they could go back and check to see what each of them was up to. Here's a bar, and it's probably a bit hard to see, but there are actually little flashy lights. I'm just gonna up the animation intensity, maybe make it a bit brighter. Oh, it's actually, the light has somehow wandered off its source. So you take cool pictures, and when you add a little motion to them, you can get some really cool effects, which I really like. So I think actually trying to find a scene which shows that off well. And notionally, actually, the Deep Forest scene, which I'm now streaming, but you guys won't be looking at, has fog effects in the scene somewhere, or maybe it's here. And some of these effects are not updated, but the point is, you can add really simple kind of fog effects just to give your scene a bit of mood, and I really like it. It's cool. Yeah, that's probably a good time to stop. I'm drifting off topic. So any other questions? Otherwise, we'll call it. Thank you very much, Mr. Dash and Mr. Grillo.
No problem. Happy to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll catch you all later. If anyone wants to ask questions about it, drop them in comments on the video when it comes up, and I'll come back and answer. Anyway, goodbye. Cool. That was good. Thank you very much, you two.